Jimmy again. This is Zero Point Truth Radio. Maybe Ali, if we start with you a little bit, maybe you could just give us a little thumbnail of the bubble technology and what you've experienced. And Mike, jump in, and Vince, nice to meet you.
Morning, evening.
Happy to be here.
Hi, nice to meet you. Sure, I'm actually going to be creating mine this weekend. I didn't get the magnets in this weekend, so I'll be doing my bubble tech. I got all the supplies, and Mike has been kind enough to guide me through it. So it'll be absolutely amazing to get this device up and running. So
what is, do you know what it is? I mean, I know Mike can maybe allude to that, but.
Sure, actually, you know what? Yeah, but no, Mike should go through the description of it so that it's bang on, because he knows the science. So,
okay.
But, like I said, creating non-polar energy.
Okay. Well, Mike, why don't you take it away?
Oh yeah, well, bubble tech is like Wilhelm Reich's orgone technology on steroids, and quite literally, it's really amazingly simple. Anybody can get started immediately by buying a violet ray wand and touching it to the oldest piece of concrete you can find. The energy that comes out of there, it amplifies the capacitance field, and capacitance is the doorway to the divine. All things are conceived in darkness, and inside the capacitance field, you don't have any vibrations, which includes light. So seeing how you got no cycles per second, then you got no seconds. So you're also in a capacitance field, which is basically what Wilhelm Reich's technology is. It's a connection to the divine. There's no time or all time, however you want to look at it. And the only thing that comes out of there is images. And that is how we install intentions via the bubble into the gap, into darkness, to be made manifest. All things are conceived as a seed in darkness, period. Okay, well, we can do that. Bubble tech allows us to install our seeds at seed level for manifestation, and they then happen. And the things that are happening all over the world now are mind-boggling. Probably the most mind-boggling one of which is that, you know, the people that have a number of bubbles have the bubble working in their house or wherever nearby. It cuts the power bill. So, you know, it's like mind-boggling, you know, because you're using a lot of power. You know, you use the violet ray wand, and we like to have a 250-watt infrared bulb, you know, shining on it also. You know, and the energy that comes out of there is 2D, non-polar, and thus infinite, and the bubbles all connect up. And so we ask for healing, and it happens immediately. You know, for people like the one lady, two ladies who have deep vein thrombosis. We're ready to go to the hospital to have their leg amputated. We send them healing, you know, euphoric healing from the bubbles. Bam, done. No more deep vein thrombosis. Gone. Same with cancer and all that kind of stuff. With, you know, this is, and you know, and then blocking hurricanes. It's mind-boggling. It's especially the one that happened in the typhoon in Japan recently.
Yeah.
There's a giant hole right where right in the most, you know, violent part of the typhoon. There's a giant hole. No typhoon.
Right.
and it's over. It's a very small bubble was there. You can see pictures of the bubble in my essay, and it knocked a hole in a typhoon larger than the size of New York City. You know, it's like mind-boggling and blatantly obvious. You know, that it's us doing it. And the guy that has that little bubble there in Japan has to be careful because he keeps poking the hole in the clouds. and then there's people from the government start coming around looking at who's doing this, how are you doing it, but they can't find it because it's everywhere, you know.
Yeah, non-local, hey.
Yeah, seriously, non-local.
Non-local.
Do you have what it looks like?
Oh, I've got the instructions right here.
Okay. Oh,
That's
yeah.
that's one set of instructions. There's
Yeah, one set.
Okay, good.
the best way to start a bubble project is still the best way. There is
Right.
no other.
Sure.
So I wanted to share something here. A friend of mine, this is a fan, a computer fan, and this is a friend of mine created this. So these are the neon magnets, and they're all lined up there, as you can see. And both sides point north. So right here on the top, you have opposing force. So the magnetic compass points in this direction, and you spin this thing, and he claims it does poke holes in the geoengineering chemtrails. I started it and ran it all night in my house, and it creates a calming effect. So Mike, I'm just curious. So this is a spinning magnetic wave generator, I guess you might call it, and it seems to work in a sense. Just curious what you thought seeing this, being that you are involved in technology.
Yeah, if it works, don't fix it. But the bubble, the bubble is mankind's most important technology. Period.
Okay. Right.
And like my bubble and most other bubbles, it cleans the trails right behind the planes as far as you can see.
Cool.
Yeah, and which means that it's also cleaning everything else.
Right.
And the way that works, the way that Orgone works to clean things, is basically cleans the ethers, which is the background screen on which everything's projected.
Yeah.
And the ethers, and particularly the anu, the ANU, which is the God particle that has the two male forms of God. It's your aura. Everything has an aura, and the information that makes you is in that aura. And that aura is connected to a hive mind movie that is connected to every grain of sand on the beach, which is why the past, present, and future of everything is known. And it exists. And so since everything has a past, present, and and we all those run in lockstep like a picture puzzle, then what we're doing, that is the matrix that we're breaking out of.
Right.
And Bubble Tech allows us to do that because the cause, one of the main causes of the matrix is memories, because all things in the past portend the future, and so then you're immediately into hive mind matrix. So the way that you avoid that is that you just cancel the memories, which is what the euphoria produced by Bubble Tech does. The euphoria produced by Bubble Tech is the final solution to duality. It eliminates the duality. And the very first duality starts at sea level, in darkness. It's lonely, which is what Robert Monroe found when he went there. He called it Loge. Sai Baba confirms that the void is lonely. And I've been there in meditation as well as a number of other people. It was lonely, still is, because that certain parts of it, that is changing. It may have changed entirely already due to Bubble Tech and becoming euphoric. Well, not due to Bubble Tech, but due God herself, because the loneliness in space is hers, not ours. Okay, she's been holding on to that feeling for a long time, and it's been used as part of the duality to manifest this. I'm sorry to say, the shit show what's been going on here for eon. 23 different species of humans that have populated the planet. Excuse me, where are they? Okay, and the answer is we have this mass extinction events where 90% of the DNA leaves the planet, including human. Okay, and then sometime later during the Genesis event, the exact same mirror image, digitally perfect reproduction of the previous DNA comes back. and it blinks back in. It blinks out, and it blinks back in. Okay, and you know the geneticists had a real difficult time with that, trying to understand and explain how it is that the 90% of the mammals and all the DNA on this plant roughly the same age. You know, and the reason is because everything blinks, and everything right now, everything we're blinking through the gaps, and those gaps is where the images are that first of all come from hive mind, but via bubble tech we can break into those sequences of images and change them, which is why we're able to stop hurricanes and typhoons and change the power the power bills and the heal people and make plants grow. It's unbelievable what happens with plants. Like one guy is in the desert, the big cactuses, they bloom once a year. Okay, and then blooms every week. That's ridiculous.
Beautiful. So it's a combination of the device and intention. It's both.
Yeah, right. Well, the device, the device. There's certain things that the Euphoria does automatically, and it expunges the loche, and so the mice and the rats and the flies and the mosquitoes and things that operate in fear have to leave because because it's almost like being in a microwave. In fact, rats sacrifice themselves because it's too much pain for their body, and so they get out of it. And the same applies to people. Bad people cannot be around the bubble. They can't use the bubble. It's a manifestation technology that can only be used in Euphoria. So it's self-protective.
Neat. How about Vince? Do you have a machine there too, or?
I've not built one yet. I'm gathering materials and.
Okay. Any comments?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
That's it. Once you've done that, once you've got the violet ray wand, touch it to a concrete block, and you feel it. Some people don't feel.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah. When I touched it out back, I have a big concrete pad, and I was telling Mike about it with a copper wire, ground wire for a hot tub. I took my wand out there and left it out there for a while, and you can feel it right in my chest. I can feel it.
Mm.
Well, then you can ask who your bubble genie is, and she'll tell you, or he or she.
Sophia, her name was.
Okay.
This is great.
She came right on up and popped up. So nice pinky hue around there.
So the combination of holding this technology with our intention causes the ethers to be adjusted.
Yeah, basically, yeah, correct. Could see the background screen is uniform. Okay,
Yes.
the ethers. Okay, and what it is there's circular. The very first etheric realm is circular due to the rule I am that I am. Okay, and that creates a little circle of love. Piezoelectric energy. Piezoelectric green, which is the color of the heart chakra, so it's love.
Mm-hmm.
And so the entire background screen is made out of 2 parts love and 1 part time. And from that, us humans, we create this shit show for entertainment purposes.
Right. So here's a question that you guys might be aware of. The some of the information I'm getting is, and this George Cavazos has talked about, it's the Saturn Moon Matrix. And the moon is this sort of amplifier projecting device that actually essentially is the mirror of our own intentions, thoughts, collective thoughts, and it just sort of reflects back. The universe obviously does that. The ethers do that. But I find that there's this control grid, this reincarnation trap that people aren't aware of, that is sort of keeping all of this contained in this negative inverted reality we're in. Does that resonate with you guys? That you guys found that?
Yeah, well, I'll explain that for you. it is that humans can go anywhere in space and time instantly. We can do that via astral projection, lucid dreaming, remote viewing, and by the Tesla Utron, we can go there physically. Okay?
The Utron, U-T-R-O-N?
Yes, correct. U-T-R-O-N. Look it up, Tesla Utron. You can go anywhere in space and time physically. It's a pretty good sized device. They built 100 of them. It works. And after you've had enough rides in the Utron, you don't need the device anymore. Okay? So the conveyance is not required, which means that we can do teleportation on our own.
I'm looking for some images.
Okay, so seeing as we can do teleportation on our own, we don't need any devices. All right? Then, excuse me, how is it and why is it that all of the aliens that come around here have ships and stuff like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Why do they need devices? The answer is because they're reflections of us.
Okay.
The entire multiverse is a reflection of us, of our collective subconsciousnesses who have been programmed by our pure consciousness. Our pure consciousness is the ultimate idiot. Our pure consciousness is our observer self. Have you ever noticed that you were thinking or emoting? You know, you get mad and you're getting mad and all of a sudden you kind of step back and say, what am I doing this for? Okay? All right, so, excuse me, who noticed? Who noticed that you were emoting or thinking? Answer, your observer self,
Right.
which is our pure consciousness. Now, our pure consciousnesses, collectively, are the designers of the shit show, really, because they are bored, sickly bored of continuous orgasm, which was the first problem. And then, and the minute you break out of that, the next problem is you know everything. You know, it's impossible not to know. Well, not impossible, but very difficult not to know everything, as is obvious by this shit show that we've designed to create separation for entertainment, as opposed to knowing everything, which is not entertaining. And our pure consciousnesses, these are the guys that did it. Our pure consciousnesses live in darkness. And where did we get the idea of death? It sure wasn't in the field of love. You couldn't even conceive the idea of death in the field of love. So the death aspect of the shit show comes from pure consciousness. Okay? And the amazing thing is, our pure consciousness, everybody kind of likes to look at some sage old man, divine, wise figure, are bedrock idiots. Bedrock idiots. Nothing sticks. Pure means pure. No memories, no feelings, no nothing. It all passes through. Okay? It's just for the purpose of entertainment. That, you know, and our pure consciousnesses ride our physical bodies like a donkey to enjoy the feeling of separation and being away from all knowing and continuous orgasm, which are the two. Continuous orgasm, the first problem. Well, loneliness, the first problem. And then I am that I am, that's now become a problem because of, you know, the I am that I am creates the entire multiverse. And the way that does it's like a computer program. It's like, you know, you touch a button, bam, instant multiverse. The same, like we talked about, where you have the 90% of DNA blinks out, and then the same 90% blinks back in, exact same. You know, which means that the DNA has all the same memories, and we do the whole same play all over again. You know, and we do that whole same play. You know, the Hindu yugas and the Mayan calendar. It's the same length of time that always winds up in a mass extinction event. Okay, and then we do it over again. And, you know, excuse me, 16 Jesus figures with mirror image lifetimes might be, excuse me, a fucking clue. Wake up. You know, you're stuck in hive mind.
Right.
And bubble tech is what will get you out of it, right? And the way that it gets it out of it is the way that you started, the way, Jimmy, that you say that you're operating, is that you assign all of your information, all of your decisions are made by your body, not by your batshit brain.
Right. And I'll
Yeah.
insert here too the science from Joe Dispenza and Greg Brayton are that the heart is 5,000 times more powerful and emits more electromagnetic energy than your brain. And so I was teaching my class. I had a class last night in creating and manifesting, and we have a wonderful group. And I was going to insert really quick, Mike. They remembered you. I don't know if you remember a guy named Gil and Tucky Hayes when you were up here in Alaska.
Yeah, I know him. Yeah, Gil. Yeah.
So he said, Mike Emery, he was here way back when. And I guess you guys have quite a few stories to tell, but not to change the subject there.
Oh, yeah, Alaska was great fun.
So I forgot where I diverted there a minute. This inside, we create from the inside out. And what I'm feeling a lot is that the heart intention, the deep breathing is all you need.
Yeah, Merlin's chi activation exercise. If you get into doing Merlin's chi activation,
Right.
it blow you away. It's instantaneous. Feel your body,
Right.
and especially in a bubble field, it's instantaneous. Feel your body and your bubble genie, and it's the explosion of energy. Plus, on top of that, it creates a DMT rush that is a conjuring field where you can install intentions and images of things that you want to happen.
So when you get lightheaded, supposedly that's releasing some DMT as well. I was just told that last night in our class.
Yeah, that's right. And the chi activation, by doing lots of breathing, the lungs create DMT.
Right.
And then what we in chi activation, what we do is we do an isometric, starting at the toes all the way up the body. That forces the blood supply to the brain. You're going to have a rush. You're going to have a DMT rush.
Cool. Well, this is really, as I say with my friends, everything's in divine order. And right now, because you're talking about the ethers, you're matching up several things that I need to hear, I guess you might say. But when we were talking with Allie at the beginning, I was saying that everything lines up, and this is a beautiful conversation for me.
So anyway, as far as George's thing about the moon and Saturn, it's just part of the shit show that we've manifested. He thinks it's real. It's not.
So I'm gonna step away and get some of my notes on this board about the ethers, and I'm really finding a lot of really cool information from these people. The channel is called Cosmic Agency, and this is a girl. I think she's from Poland originally. She lives in Spain. For the last 2 years, she's been chatting with Pleiadian or Taygetan Pleiadians, and they're orbiting about 500 kilometers above the Earth. They've been here for a long time. They were the ones that met with Eisenhower. And oh, good. Zoom has removed my 40-minute time frame. Thank you. And anyway, Cosmic Agency, and they talk about stellar navigation. They talk about manifesting. And this most recent talk was about the ether. So I'm going to step for a minute and get some of my notes because it matches up with what you're talking about.
Okay, well, one thing you will notice about aliens is that they're all humanoid. So they're not actually aliens, are they? No? So, okay, well then where did they get the humanoid form? Well, first of all, what is the purpose of the humanoid form when, in fact, that's not our form. Our form is an ovoid, the anu that makes us. That's our form. That's the form of everything. Okay? So,
Look at this.
yeah, right
Hold it
there.
a little closer. Yeah, the toroidal twisting.
No, it's not
Anu.
that's
Yeah.
not a toroid.
Anu.
Okay,
That's an anu. It's
That's the
similar
anu
to a
there.
toroid, but it's not a toroid.
Yeah.
Totally different.
I got it. Right. Do you guys know how to share screen here?
I'm on a phone, so I can't do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on a phone too.
I mean, I can share. I found the device, this Utron. It's kind of cool, but go ahead. So we got the anoid, right?
Yeah, okay, so, so everything is the actual shape of it, of all physical things, in spirit, is an anu, A-N-U, okay? And so, excuse me, what's the purpose of the humanoid form? And the answer is, so that we can kill one another better,
Entertainment.
Yeah, it's entertainment system. Yeah, right. Otherwise we'd be...
Go ahead. You're using
blobs, we'd be these interjecting blobs. We'd have no problems.
So you're using some. I'm really big on words and language, right? Because the power of creation, which is my class that we're working together on, it's called the Creator Collective. And so I want to encourage each of you to start your own Creator Collective, where you come together with a group of people, create a collective creation, like mastermind group is kind of the old phrase, and work with your friends and your metaphysical friends and create, begin creating.
You do that in the presence of a bubble, everybody becomes telepathic together.
I was just going to say that.
I'm sorry, yeah, it's automatic. It's automatic. It's like the Russians say about the concave mirrors. It's involuntary.
Yeah.
Whether you want to or not, you're going to acquire the information.
Cozy Rev, right?
Yeah, Cozy Rev mirror.
So Bubble Tech is mankind's most important technology. Have you seen the mass die-offs that are going on? You know that we're over halfway through the sixth known mass extinction. I bet there's been a lot more than that, but they've been able to study the 5 previous ones, which is how I can give you what the geneticists came up with. As a that it blinks in and blinks out. 90% of the DNA. And so we've missed that. We're in a new hive mind movie, and the source of the images for the new hive mind movie that we're currently in is our bodies via dreaming collectively, as well as the bodies of the wild animals. And we collectively have dreamed up this euphoric thing, which is Bubble Tech, as well as we're headed to dream time, period. Resistance is futile. It's going to happen. And in dream time, everything will be enlightened, and it'll also be quite fuzzy, and that's good. Euphoric and fuzzy. Euphoric cuts off memories, because what euphoric memories do you have? Answer: none, other than the euphoria. Okay, and then what do you look forward to in the future? More euphoria. That's easy. So where are you? You're right here in the now. And because us, as spirits, as pure consciousnesses, find ourselves in the now all the time, and the now is euphoric, then we can't know everything. Okay? We're kind of in a little bubble. A larger bubble, but you do it collectively. You do it with teams. And the teams that you work with will all become telepathic. And you'll have more, it'll be like a fairy rings, which is an archetype for us. We got to be careful of those guys, because they screw with time a little bit too much. Yeah. But we'll be doing something very similar. It'll be more fun than a barrel full of half-witted monkeys forever. And we'll be doing really nifty things. In the gray, you can have any background music you want. Okay? But in so doing, we're knowing right now that the music of the spheres, or the music of creation that's been going on ad infinitum, doesn't work. Okay? And the reason it doesn't work is because it's stuck on hive mind, anyway. I mean, you think you're going to die, don't you? Okay, well, excuse me, why?
No, it's interesting because I was sharing with my friend, Creator Collective, is I play like the harp. We actually integrate music and frequency in between our mind mapping. So I'm teaching how to create a purpose, line out all the things you need to do if you want to, if it's a business or whatever your intention is, and getting it out of the etheric into the physical through writing words and drawing and so forth. So
Bubble Tech would go the opposite. We install intentions telepathically, and you do it as you're holding your breath, and that increases your chi, because as you're holding your breath, as you breathe all the air out and you hold your breath, your body automatically starts creating steroids and DMT. You know?
right.
I mean, it's a big time rush, and it helps your body. You can heal anything on your body. You know, and it's your body. You can do whatever you want. You know, as long as you're doing it like you said.
Right.
You
Just
know,
deep
basically
breathing.
from our heart center. We're using all of our decisions from our heart center. But know this. The heart and all the other chakras are seals. They're barricades. Okay? And it's not just the heart. It's a whole idiot. Okay? Every cell in your body is represented by the heart, our bubble genies or our heart chakra, as a gestaltic consciousness for the entire body. Okay? Not just for the heart. Okay?
So some people feel the chakras are overlays that are used for energy harvesting.
I don't know. It's all spin energy is unwanted structure, because spin automatically, obviously, organizes information, which means that it harbors memories, which means that it harbors a shit show. You know? So yes, in that regard, chakras are involved in making memories, storing memories, and well, actually, our entire Anu, our aura, is connected to the Hive Mind movie. The Hive Mind movie
Yes.
includes every grain of sand on the beach and every thought that goes through your head. Every single thought. Anything that you use the batshit brain for is connected to the Hive Mind movie. Things that you use your body for and you listen to your body is not connected to the movie. You just basically step out of it by using chi activation and the glow meditation, and you do things in the glow where you feel. You just feel what you need to do, and you follow your feelings on getting it done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and and you know, and the bubble genie and the power of our heart chakra is useful for that. Okay, but at the end of the day, it's not what the deal is. The deal is the whole thing, you know, the whole body.
So you're kind of saying that the reverse, the body is this 3D body here is this avatar is reality, while your thoughts are just part of
Yeah, right. Part of
they're
the
just
hive mind.
they're part of the hive mind that sort of projects these thought bubbles onto the ether, and they kind of either just float around or disappear and so forth. This is fascinating.
Oh, no, they run in lockstep. They run in lockstep. Every single person on this planet has had the precognitive dream or deja vu. How is it that all of those sequences of images fit together if it's not like a picture puzzle?
Right.
You know? Right, it just runs in absolute lockstep.
Right. And your idea of images clicked into a friend of ours is a psychic reader, and she's helping us out on some things. And I said, well, how do you I said, when I meditate or pray or think about someone, I was really working on something. I would say higher self and their name. I would say, or inner self and the name, inner self, higher self. So sometimes when I meditate, I will just go in, if I'm sort of consciously thinking about people and family members, I hold their face as you know, in a golden light, or however you want to image it, or just send them that intention in a sense. And that's been really helpful to reach out in that, you know, on the interweb.
Yeah, well, the thing about the bubble is you do everything in euphoria. You know, you send euphoric healing. You send with steps. You know, to the hurricane. We don't take any judgment on the hurricane. We just send euphoria to it. Okay, and the way that you do that is first of all you draw the hurricane inside of you, and you send euphoria to it. If you're going to send healing to somebody, you draw that person inside of you, and you basically send healing to them and yourself at the same time, or euphoria, you know, euphoric healing. And you always, yeah, it's, you know, it's like you use in the name of Jesus. In this case, we use euphoria all the time, you know, because it wins. You know,
Yes.
Euphoria will always win.
Well, yes. This Jesus, you know, I was sort of, I wouldn't say a non-believer, but a friend of mine, we were just communicating last night, and I was reading a page, and I was sending her some information from Alana Freeland, who is exposing a lot of the antennas and the particles in the sky, and we're creating this huge grid over the planet. So let me just read you guys, because this is really cool. When you brought up Jesus, and this is for those of us who are sort of maybe think Jesus is just another religion. But he said, oversimplified and ignorant of the new directed energy weapons that can target people and make them mentally ill, but still understanding the big picture that real shamans function, this is about shamans, can point us to the difference between spirituality and religion. I remember 2 separate conversations with 2 shamans I had while living in Santa Fe. When the topic got around to out-of-body missions conducted in the realm of stars and planets, both shamans admitted that when they got into trouble with non-human entities, they called on Christ to help them. And Christ always came through for them because this is his solar system. And as one of the shamans reminded me, this is an example of the difference between spirituality and religion. Neither shaman called himself a Christian, but understood that Christ is a vast cosmic being / office. And those 2 conversations clarified this for me for all time. And I thought that was a really interesting comment, that the shamans call on Christ because he is the ruler of this solar system. And anyway,
not. I hate to rain on your parade or on their parade.
Okay.
Okay. But every single major spiritual being that has walked this planet is connected to hive mind.
Yeah.
And you know how you know for a fact? Not one single one of them has ever taught us telepathy. Not one single one of them has ever implored humans to learn and practice telepathy. Not one single one of them. So they have no intention of setting us free. They want us to continue with the play. You know, it's just part of the play. They just come along and keep us from killing ourselves too often. You know?
Wow.
You know?
Good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That hit home.
Yeah. And so I lived in a monastery. We studied enlightenment. The way that enlightenment has occurred through all the teachings has been the same as what's described as a rapture. And the rapture is where your spiritual body overtakes your physical body. That's the wrong way around. Doesn't work, because that spiritual body is still connected to hive mind. So it is that now that our bodies have to assert the reins of reality. We have to start driving the show via our body's consciousness, not by some idiot outside of us, or any idiot outside of us, you know, and which includes the wisdom teachings, the supposed divine beings, the aliens, all that stuff. None of them can do it. Only we can do it ourselves, by our bodies, by our heart chakra. Dispenza is very good at that. Okay, he has ways of doing it, although he ascribes way too much importance to what's going on in the physical brain. The physical brain is a hoax. It's a ruse. Okay, it's
I love this. I love taking it to the edge, and that's what you.
everything what you see is an entertainment system. It's a ruse. It's a hoax. A charade. You know, a massive charade. Everything's inside of you, and we all are on the same dream. For entertainment purposes, entertainment by separation. That's what's going on here. Now, that's what's been going on, and the entertainment's going to continue. And we, as the ultimate idiots, entertainers, and we are, get to keep doing it. Only we get much better at it. You know, we become enlightened beings, superhuman powers, all that stuff. Dreamtime, that's what's coming. And Bubble Tech will get us to that point.
That's very good. Maybe that's why we waited a year to have this conversation.
Yeah, really. Yeah, you're still not quite caught up. You need to be looking at a few more things on my side, you know, and comparing that to what you've already, you know, studied, and then after a while you kind of go, oh shit, you know. It's just like I did one here recently, you know, the well fertilized seed, you know, that's created the shit show, and so the philosophy is simple. It's all bullshit, and we're idiots. So let's party.
Well, I had this thought last night or a couple days ago that perhaps we will go from our body. We would be able to basically be a light being, like.
Our observer self, our pure consciousness is what you're thinking about.
Right, but I mean, this physical body would sit in this chair, and then I could just go, okay, I'm going to take my internal and just be light, visible light, and float around the house, right?
Yeah, you can do that. But what we can do everything that what Babaji is able to do would be a good archetype, you know, for the first step, and then there's another step beyond that I'm aware of. I'll tell, if you're interested, I'll tell you. Sure. Babaji has the ability to be anywhere, anytime, any form he chooses. Okay, includes shape-shifting. Okay. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. It's all just consciousness. Matter doesn't exist. And so everything what you see is a manipulation of consciousness. And the ultimate manipulators is us, as our pure consciousnesses, who have installed the hive mind show over a very long period of time. Because, you know, we're idiots. I mean, nothing sticks. Okay, well, and in darkness, in pure consciousness, there's no structure. So where do the memories come from? How do we put together the sequences of events in the dreams? And that answer is that we put the images, we have the idea, and we put the images on the ethers, which are mirrors, okay? And then if another idiot, you know, pure consciousness, agrees with that dream, and then blinks, and about the time you get the 100th idiot involved, then you wind up with a whole idiot.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Well, it's the only way that we could have dreamed up death, suffering. I mean, excuse me, suffering. You know, why? You know, I mean, if it's just manipulation, why did you assholes come up with suffering, huh? You do have to answer the question. And I've learned a whole lot more by tracking down the skid marks, I call them, than trying to follow the fluff. The fluff always winds up in the same place, continuous orgasm, which is we broke out of. You know how you know? You're here. You know?
So is a continuous orgasm also known as bliss? Like Dan Winner talks about implosion and this notion of bliss. Is that still a part of the?
Well, it's a kind of a bliss. Euphoria is a kind of a bliss. You know? But at the end of the day, please, you got the root of duality is fear, first of all, her loneliness, and then second, love. Okay? That's the root of duality, of yin and yang, of all that bullshit. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like this. If a being in a continuous orgasmic state, which exists here in this universe, okay, as well as there's multiverses that are, the first multiverse is continuous orgasm still going on, okay? If it was so good, if that was such a good state of being, why the fuck aren't you there? Huh?
So is dimensionality and density part of the ruse? So these
yeah, it's all structure is structure. It repeats. If it repeats, it's coming from a hive mind. Period.
Let me mute that.
Okay. Another question. A fellow that I really enjoy. He's researcher, experiencer. His name is Wes Penry. And
I know Wes. Wes is doing the same thing. You know, he's got all this stuff outside of ourselves. There's all these major problems, all that kind of stuff. It's all just bullshit, man. It's just entertainment. Yeah, there isn't anything out there. I go back to the very simple philosophy. Excuse me, it's all bullshit, and we're idiots, so let's party.
Okay, so when you die, he suggests go through a hole in the grid and go to the Ka, and go into standby mode and wait, because you can go to Orion and talk to the Queen, figure out what you got to do next. But the objective is to escape the reincarnation cycle, escape the trap that most people, you know, when you ask, the reason I got into all this what happens when you die stuff is my mom asked me, she's 90 something, and she said, Jimmy, what am I supposed to do when I die? I go, I don't know, Mom, but don't go to the light.
Yeah, do not go to the light. That's right. No, what you do, well, we all start from darkness, okay? And when we go to darkness, it scrubs off all of our karma. So it wasn't our karma in the first place. It's all God's karma, and that's where she is in darkness. So we just take it back to her and just give it back, you know. And that's the way you scrub it off.
Or you clear it right now.
Yeah, well, we pass through darkness every microsecond. Yeah, you know, everything blinks. You know, I mean, every microsecond. It's
okay. I think we're done. We figured it out. Do you guys have questions? I'm obviously the host, so I have all these questions. But
yeah, Mike, could you talk more about the concave mirror? I saw one post you done on Facebook, but I've not seen you post any more about it.
Well, we put a concave mirror around the bubble piece, and it does physical age regression. You look at my face. I'm 71 years old, man. You know, no turkey neck. You know, and it's from that. You know, I was very wrinkled up, which is an Emery trait, and it's genetic trait, and it's gone away. And when we made a kind of a Cosrev mirror, just with aluminum flashing, it costs like $10 or something like that. You can get a 10-foot by 3-foot chunk of it for.
I found one right here.
Yeah, that's a little. Those are great inside of a piece. Well, like for example, this piece right here that I got over my head. This is for my physical age regression. It has a concave mirror back inside there. There's really powerful energy coming out of there, and so I've got it running the light, you know, down the length of me, you know, because it's got
so information. Is the mirror buried within the bubble?
Huh?
Is the mirror buried within the bubble when you make it?
You can bury it in the bubble. Yeah, you can bury them in the bubble. They work very well for doing that. You know, you put two concave mirrors, those little concave mirrors like what he showed, facing one another. You know,
within the cement.
Yeah, right, within the concrete, because it reflects off the, and then you put the goodies in between. You know, and the goodies are,
Your crystals and so on goes between the two mirrors,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
pour the concrete around it. Right.
yeah, right, yeah.
Just
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
that
I'm
works
gonna
really
pipes.
well.
I'm gonna build one of these things tomorrow.
Well, all you need to get, first thing you need to do is bubble your concrete and get in touch with your bubble genie, and then and then put your intentions into the concrete block. You'd be blown away at the power of a concrete block, especially if you find a real old one. You know, and then you take a nick off of that, and then you build a bubble, and you use that little bit of powder. It's a distillation process. One of our persons, Starcat Wendy, has got up to her 8th distillation. You bubble the next piece for 9 days, and then you take a bit of dust out of that and you put it in the next piece, bubble that for 9 days. Well, she's up to number 8. Of course, it's been a year doing it, and you put that dust from that previous bubble inside of a bubble piece. You don't need to bubble it; it bubbles instantly, and it's got all the intentions. It's just like homeopathy. It's extremely powerful. You know? You don't have to do it that way. I'm working on other ways to do this where it's simple, you know, or simplifying it. But it's pretty hard to beat the distillation process because it works. It's just like it's multiplying consciousness, you know. It's like an analog amplifier, and that's what these bubble tech things are. Is an analog amplifier, which you got the gap, okay, and then in the gap you have a grid, which is the way the analog amplifier works, and the information on the grid is amplified from one of the capacitance plates to the other, from the negative one to the positive one. You know, there's a kind of an inertia there. There's no flow actually, but there is a bit of an inertia that picks up that information in the grid and amplifies it. So we're doing the exact same thing by taking a little dust from a previous piece and putting it in a new piece. Then all of those intentions, all the information that's in that piece, in the previous piece, gets put into the new one and re-amplified and amped up again and amped up again. And so that's, you know, Starcat's up to her 8th distillation. It's very extremely.
So you don't need to use the VR wand on the new bubble then?
Excuse me?
If you take a piece of dust from a previous one, you won't need to use the VR wand on the new bubble then?
Yeah, you take a piece from the other one, and the new bubble will bubble up straight away with all the same information. You'll feel it. Once you get used to feeling it, you'll know what intentions are still there, because your bubble genie will tell you. You know, your heart, just like Jimmy was talking about, using your heart. Well, when your heart starts paining you, and you can feel every thought that you're having coming through your heart, then you know then you know if you're using your batshit brain or you're using your heart. It's very easy to know.
Right. Okay. Is there a file on making the concave mirror device? Because all I've seen is that one post on Facebook.
There is one, yeah, but it's really ancient. We did that a year ago. It works. What we're finding now, and I haven't finished it. You know, I'm in the process of putting together a really powerful piece, and that's with magnets and the violet ray wand, and really powerful magnets that squeeze the concrete.
Right.
And then we take that concrete piece and we're going to encase it in plaster, because the plaster, the selenite crystal, is cubic, which is the same as a capacitor. Okay, so it basically takes all of the vibratory energy and converts it to 2D, to flat. Okay.
So you get a normal cement bubble and encase it in plaster.
Yeah. It looks like it's going to be the most advanced. It'll cause vision distortions. It should, you know, in the immediate area.
Could that be regular builder's plaster, or does it have to be plaster of Paris?
No, regular builder is better.
What you use to plastering walls.
Yeah, right.
As long as it's gypsum based, then it'll do.
That's right.
Right. Okay.
So concrete versus a regular rock like granite is better?
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Because see, the concrete's got the sand in it, and the concrete itself is what we call organic, in that the molecule that is concrete is a calcium silicate. The calcium is conductive. Silicate is a dielectric. It's a semiconductor. You know, and it's just that the calcium atom is very small, so we have to add more metal to the concrete in the form of iron oxide generally. You know? And you add the metal, bits, and so it increases. You want to be 50-50 between conductive material and non-conductive material, and that way you've got the most surface area that you can have for charge accumulation, which then amplifies the capacitance field, and the capacitance field then basically connects up with the void with life force energy. You know? Only the void now is euphoric, and euphoria was installed in the void not too long ago, actually. You know? Because Wilhelm Reich, in his lab, get too much orgone around, they come up with what they call orgone poisoning, which would make sense if you still had fear in the void. And now we don't have fear in the void or loneliness. What we have is euphoria. You know? And so God herself apparently changed it. I used to rail against her, but she did one thing right. That one right there is correct.
So could someone send me I put my email in the chat, send me the instructions, or have you sent them out already, Mike, in the emails?
Best way to make a bubble piece. It's in you go on my academia thing.
Right.
And you see the Japanese typhoon one? At the bottom of that is exactly how to proceed. It's really, really easy.
Okay.
If you join his Facebook group, it's in the files as well.
Yeah, right. The best way to start a bubble project. But some people, they read too much and they forget the simple aspect. Touch of violet ray wand to a piece of concrete. That's it. Get yourself started.
When you say an old piece of concrete, how old you talking?
The older the better.
I've got a piece of concrete from an old foundation that's about 6 years. Is that old enough?
Yeah. Something that's 20 or 30 or 50 years old is even better, though.
Without breaking down someone's building, but yeah.
You can bubble your entire foundation. Once you have a bubble piece going in your house, and you get the energy, and then you take a violet ray wand and touch it to your foundation. A couple of guys, everything in their house goes to vision distortions, all the furniture and everything when they start putting violet ray wands on their foundation.
How'd you do that? Just the actual. Can you hardwire it to the foundation so you don't have to have it outside?
Yeah, the way you'd have to do that is drill a hole in the foundation and put some steel wool in there and hardwire it to it that way.
So that's violet ray wand. It was a little hard to understand.
Yeah. Here, I've got one here.
Casey's and Tesla coil.
Oh, violet ray wand?
Yeah, I'll edit the video and put some images in here in the video.
Here you go.
Publish it.
This one there, and I just touch it to rock, but yeah.
What the heck?
I'll touch it to the rock right here. You can hear it, but then when you touch the rock, you can actually. Whoops, sorry, here. Bent here.
Where do you get that? You buy it at the store? It looks like a hairdryer.
Yeah, like Amazon.
There's a guy
you can get
sells
them on
it for
Amazon.
hair loss, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So it's
shock yourself.
It's a metaphysical device then.
A lot of people, they use them for facials. I personally wouldn't be touching one to my face because you can see the electricity. Like if you put your finger to it, hey Mike, I wouldn't want that on my face.
Okay, violet ray wand, folks. You can get one at, unfortunately, Amazon. Is there an alternative place other than corporate Amazon?
But I think you can get them at.
You can buy them directly. The best violet ray wand on the planet is sold by a guy in Florida for hair loss, and the link is in that Typhoon essay. You know,
Okay. Okay.
And
Well.
the Typhoon essay is on academia, and in order to access the academia files, they will ask you for your entire address book.
Okay.
When you see that, you just scroll down and you can go around that. Okay.
Right. I'm calling out 1111. It's 1111.
Oh, 1111, good stuff. You'll have to give them the link to the Hasselberg blog as well, Mike. It has all your stuff, because it's good to read it in chronological order too, like from beginning to end. All of the papers.
Wow, that's totally amazing. I've written so much stuff. So you've seen how I've learned in the process of writing. I get when I'm writing, I get messages, I get downloads. Used to be from General Patent, and then obviously Merlin. I've got, Merlin gave me the dream for the physical age regression device when I got here.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I've got an amazing personal history or karmic load of crap that that's put me into doing this, which includes Simon Peter. I've got a full set of sigmatic markings, including the little curled up pinky finger, like Jesus said, and the scar on the side. Full set of that, And but I'm not him. Happily, Simon Peter is me because I was a commercial fisherman in Alaska. That's what I went up there doing originally. And Simon Peter had a bad hip and a bad back. I've got a bad hip and a bad back. And then St. Emery's, which is the patron saint of the British Isles, and this happens to be the last name of Merlin. Excuse me, that's me.
Not any more in sync than that, eh?
Yeah, right. And I'm heavy into purple and gray. I've been in there, purple and gray, for a while. Now I come to find out those are Merlin's colors. Yeah. Oh shit. Okay. And then come to find out that the gray is where we play, because the gray is where there's no duality between light and dark. Okay. Yeah. And well, it's in the specific gap in the boundary layer in the five-sided ethers. Okay. Which is the boundary layer between light and dark. And where that boundary layer is, Jimmy, you're asking, is where we as our pure consciousness, our environment will become, via bubble tech, this is where we're headed, is an accretion disk around the equator of the planet. And so that's right in between north and south. Okay? It's a boundary layer, like the block wall in a magnet. Okay? And our pure consciousness will be there in euphoria, and we will have our avatar human bodies stashed around on Earth, so we can come down and play with them every so often. But most of the time, we'll be up there, basically doing anything you can think of, and playing with your friends, because it's just bouncing off one another. It'll just be like a fairy ring expanded.
I can see that. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm full. As far as questions and information, I'm gonna get my hands on these things and start working with this technology myself.
Mm-hmm.
And are there any videos that show how to build it out there? Anybody created anything?
Well, the best is Starcat's videos she has on, in the announcement sections on the Bubble Tech page.
Okay. And if you guys have those links, if you could drop them into the chat or just email them to me, I'll add them to the description in the video.
Okay.
And we'll get some more of these built around the planet.
Yeah. We'll get the heavy magnet one up this weekend, Mike.
Yeah, I will. Sometime during this week, I'll have two 200-pounders, and then I'll get 4 200-pounders. And we just made a couple of electromagnets today. The electromagnets ain't going to work because they don't attract from a distance, And we want something that attracts very powerfully from a distance.
Yeah.
You know,
I
in
just
order
got
to
this,
work through, you know, to attract one another and squeeze the concrete.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I'll
will you
get mine
need the
up and
VR
running with
wand?
those. Mhm.
Don't you
Okay.
need the VR wand if you've got the magnets?
Excuse me?
Won't you need the VR wand if you got the magnets then?
I didn't quite hear you.
Does the magnets replace the VR wand?
Yes and no. You know, you can bubble them with the magnets. Magnets are more expensive than the Violet Ray one. But the 33,333 cycles per second produced by the Violet Ray one handle, the transformer, is a Tesla coil in there, and it's got 33,333 windings where the frequency comes from, and that frequency ionizes inert gases. Is the reason why they use it, and
Right.
It's also the root rate of the four-sided ether. It's very healing.
Okay.
And amazingly, it travels through the four-sided ethers where you got no other vibrations whatsoever. The 33 will travel through it.
I've got a Rife machine with a plasma wand. Will that work instead of a VR?
Shortly.
Try it.
It's not
Highly likely.
33,000, but you got all sorts of frequencies going through Rife machine for healing and solfeggio frequencies and Schumann resonance. And
Oh, absolutely, try it. You know, and if you can get those, you know, connected hardwire, what you do is you put a piece of steel wool or copper wool in the piece towards the bottom.
Yeah.
And then you have a wire going to that, and then that energy comes up through the piece, picks up the goodies that are in the middle, and broadcasts it out the top.
Okay. So
What
machine.
Yeah, what I do with my pieces now is I buy I got a mirror mylar carbonate, you know, plastic, and I put I line the buckets that we just use plastic buckets anymore, and you put a round mirror made out of that stuff in the bottom, and you mirror the whole side of it. Then you put the concrete inside of that, and so all of that information gets mirrored back and forth first of all, and amplified, and then broadcast out the top. Really, really powerful.
Okay, and you'd put two concave mirrors facing each other as well, the small concave mirrors as well to amplify.
Yeah, you can do that. Well, if you do this, you don't need that, you know, because you know, I mean, this is a massive mirror. Yeah.
Right. Do you not need to use the pipes anymore? I saw the early videos. They had pipes.
The pipes focus the energy, and we want to broadcast the energy.
Right. Okay. So that's all tech. Right. Okay.
See if you can feel energy coming out of Herbie. You see him?
I can see him. Yeah. I'm not sensitive to energy. Hopefully, that's it. If you're not sensitive to energy, would you?
Golly, can you feel that?
Mhm. Just like the last time when you blasted me. Last time we talked.
Yeah. It's blasting me really hard right now. That's little Herbie's a kick-ass little device, and it's got a concave mirror in it, you know, at the back of it.
If you're not sensitive to energy, when you bubble it up, will you still feel it when you're saying it connects to you?
Sooner or later, you're going to feel it. And you do chi activation, and particularly you do the glow, you're absolutely going to feel it.
The glow.
Yeah,
the Merlin chi. The Merlin chi. Right. Okay.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, especially when you hold your breath. I got up to almost like four and a half minutes holding my breath there, because I do round to 3. And I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, and then after you catch your breath, the buzz. Yeah, really. Yeah.
Yeah, you're laying still, but it almost feels like you're moving. Like I could, you know, you can feel the energy, and sometimes you see different colors as well. I see mostly grayish purple, but.
Yeah, well, that's what we want to do. It's inside of us, and we manifest that. But that does come up automatically for people too nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've experienced that using
the blast open your third eye, you know, big time. You know, the blast and the throat chakra and the third eye and the crown chakra all get blasted open by chi activation.
Yeah, I've been, a friend of mine loaned me. She's a harp teacher, and I play the Native American flute and all of this, playing with this copper stuff. I make these copper wands and but when I played the harp, and I know really very little about doing it, but you just start strumming that harp, and your fingers, everything just gets so activated. And I closed my eyes, and I felt all this energy just
Wow. Cool.
coming off. And then I just think,
yeah, you do that in the bubble field, it'll blow you away.
Mm.
I'm ready.
Yeah. Same with the singing bowls. You know, you do that in the bubble field, it absolutely blow you away.
Yeah, I have one of those too that I've had for 40 years and figured out how to play it this summer.
Perfect.
Go figure. I'll go get it. It's pretty cool.
So, Mike, I won't use copper tubing in the one I'm making this week with the magnets then? No?
No need.
Okay. All right.
Ali, did you have
Well, make
problems
a
with
hand-
your
you could
VR
make
ones
a hand-
burning out?
Sorry?
Hey?
Did you have problems with your VR ones burning out?
Yes, I
Yeah.
did. I sent 2 of them back. The first 2 ones I got, because I usually leave them on for hours and hours, and they did burn out, but the third one seems to be okay.
Did
Well,
you
but you
use
have
the
to-
one? What? Sorry.
The violet ray wand that you get from poor hair loss, I have not had no. Mine one's been running for a year and a half solid.
That's the
No.
better one. Okay. That's
Yeah,
the one, okay.
and the ones that you get from China are very useful, you know, but they tend to burn out. And so what you do is that you ask your bubble genie to protect them, okay? And so that's why you have to get in touch with your bubble genie, because the very first thing you always do when you're installing intentions is you install the intentions to protect and enhance the operation of all electronic equipment. You send euphoria to all electronic equipment. This is all going to work better, because if you don't, it won't. You know, you can turn off computers, but and you ask your bubble to connect up with all bubbles for that purpose. All your intentions go through all bubbles. Actually, you know, it's like I wrote here a while back. When the way that we do our intentions, we go, I am sending euphoria to Mother Earth now. So be it. And then you dance with her in the gray, and you go into a right-handed spin, and that installs that euphoria. The spin installs euphoria, doesn't it? And so the
That's all we need to say anyway.
Yeah.
And then telepathy time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it imposes telepathy on idiots. You know, it's a good thing.
All right, I'll play this bowl a minute.
Yeah, you do that bubble field, it'll blow your socks off.
We'll do that in the bubble field.
Oh yeah,
Can't wait.
oh yeah. You do that in the bubble field, it just blow you away. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm starting immediately on a new path. So I guess we'll if anyone else came in wants to give me their email, I'll send out a little notice when this gets published. And you're listening to 0 Point Radio from Anchorage, Alaska. And this is sort of the re-inaugural edition. It's been a while since I've put out some videos, so it's exciting to have Mike and his friends, and we send out a lot of love to y'all.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anything else?
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, anything
Well,
else? Please just email me. I'm on Mike's email list, but I'm going to add this other email. And anything you want to send, I'll add those links to the description, and I'll get this out a little later today.
Sounds
Okay.
Great.
I'll put you along well, maybe Ali, you can do it. You can send him a link to StarCat's videos. You know how to do that?
Oh yeah, sure. I could do that, and then I'll also send a link to the Hasselberger blog. And do they know how to get onto Academia?
Super.
Academia. Yeah. Hey guys.
Yeah, Academia.
Hey guys. On Academia, there are 76 million researchers posting their research there,
Right.
and that are connected to Academia. There are well over 12,000 institutions connected to it. Guess who's in the top 1/10 of 1%?
You.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Wow.
Good.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're on the right path. I'm sure of that. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll sign off
There's,
here.
a device earlier on with the magnets lined up around the can. Could you post some details
Oops.
about that, please?
Couldn't hear that. Could you hear that?
You posted well, you showed this can with the magnets running up the side of it. Could you post some details about that, please?
Magnets running up the side.
The host posted this tin can with the magnets running up the side.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
I
one that
see.
you
Yeah.
had,
Oh,
Jimmy, in the
Jimmy.
beginning there.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Jimmy,
this
that
one?
thing, yeah.
Yeah, there he's got it right there.
This
Yeah,
guy?
there you go.
Okay, so this one is it's a magnetic vortex, and hook it up to a computer fan
So you just
or
running on a computer fan.
some other motor. Now these are all neodymium magnets, and so what I use is shoe goo, and so basically the magnets are loose and they hold together, and you just go from the center point, like so the top is here and the bottom is 180 degrees opposite, and the strings run north and north on both sides. So
North facing inwards.
Pardon me?
Is that north facing inwards or
No,
out?
with a compass. You take a compass and the arrow will point up. Or if you hold it like this, the compass will be along the along the line. And so this is a tomato soup can or whatever. And then so the magnets lay on there. They're very strong, of course, and so they'll lay on there quite nicely. The only challenge is to get these two opposing magnets to get as close together as possible. That's a little bit of a challenge. And then on the bottom as well. And then I took shoe goo again and just dropped this thing right on here on the fan. And my friend said you can spin it by hand. And so that's what we don't. I think I called it a magnetic. I don't know, something invert, some sort of magnetic thing. I gave it a name. But I tell you what, I'll make a little video of this one. I can do that pretty easily because I have magnets. I'm making another one. So.
So does it matter which side of the magnet faces out?
I had these are round, so there's no way to tell. It's just the axis is north and south. And I said, well, I made another one, and he said for the other one you'd have north on the bottom and south at the top, and then you would spin them anti-clockwise, and the two then would create a field. I haven't been able to figure out how to measure the field. I've got a one of the frequency checkers, RF or an RF meter. I'm monitoring that kind of stuff.
Okay, excuse me, guys. I need to lose, so I'm gonna drop off.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Okay. Nice to see you, Mike.
Love you, man.
Cheers.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Shut up.
All right. Well, this is better. Anything else?
Where can we get the video of this?
The video?
Of this meeting, where will it be posted on YouTube?
It'll be on 0 Point Truth Radio. Let me.
Is that a YouTube channel?
Yeah. So it's all 4 words. Here's my. Wait a second. One moment. Why does it say disable polymer? I don't know. This should take you there. There are some videos there. Let's see.
Right, I found the YouTube channel.
There we
Yeah,
go.
that takes you to the list. You can see we started a couple of years ago, and
Okay.
I've just
okay.
only recently been.
So you're going to post it on that then?
A little hard
Okay.
to hear you again.
You're going to post it on that then?
Like, you have to
It's
say it
this
again.
microphone. You're going to post it on that YouTube video, that YouTube
Yeah,
channel?
yeah,
Right,
it'll be
okay.
posted there.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. we can
Good.
watch
And I'll
it.
send you the links as well, Jimmy, the ones for Wendy and
Right.
Mike's blog and that.
And if you can attach the instructions.
Sure. You know what? I'll find those too. I've got an old copy that I had up there, but I'll get the newer one.
Okay.
For sure.
If you want to do this
Yeah.
again, send an email. I'll get Mike, and maybe we'll do this in a week or two if he's available.
Sure.
And I want to see the thing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm building the one. I've got 270 pound pull magnets I'm going to be putting in them. So, and then layering that up while I'm on video with Mike. So hopefully we'll.
How big are those magnets?
You know what? They're not too big. I just ordered them in because the ones I got were a little small, but they're not very big.
How much are they?
They were let's see, they were $13 for two, I think. $13 or
Oh,
$14
that's
for
not
two of them.
expensive, really.
No, so it wasn't too bad. And again, like I said, Amazon's easy to get because I went to a bunch of shops all over the place here, and no one had the pull that I was looking for. So
When you were saying £250, I thought the actual mass of the magnet was £250.
Yeah, I thought.
I was expecting a huge magnet too, but even the little ones that I got, they were 33 pounds. I pulled them apart and I was playing with them while it cranked around and it smacked me right in the finger, but you can't really see it. But I'm starting to get a bruise there. But those things are powerful, and they were just 33 pounds.
Right.
Are they the neodymium? I guess they call them so they are as well. There's a place called Zen Magnets.
Zen Magnets, okay.
Zen Magnets, which is like they have the best magnets, and they are the ones that fought the lawsuit to get these to be available again because they were taken off because the kids were